Alright, welcome everybody to a new day of game development. You can see I put in here a three-dimensional fire, smoke, particle effect system. This comes with the new Unreal Engine 5 Niagara system. They have volumetric fire effects, which are really cool, and they also destroy your frame rate. So I'm going to pull that out. And what I did was, by default, this thing only runs once. And so what I did is I came down here and I changed the loop behavior from once, which runs once for 20 seconds, and then that's it. I changed it to run infinitely and spawn a new particle effect every 0.1 seconds, which was absolutely lethal to my frame rate. So I'm pulling that out, but it does look pretty cool. So that is something you can do. Oh, the other thing you have to do is back in. Put you back in. You have to change the size of it. So if you scroll down on the thing, there's an option where you set the size of it. By default, the size is pretty small, and so if you have a lot of fire and smoke in there, then it will hit the boundaries of the bounding box, and it'll look like a giant black box, which looks pretty bad. So you have to kind of up the size of it too, which again is not especially friendly towards GPUs and such. All right. What do you guys think? You guys like the volumetric fire stuff? It's kind of cool. So that was under Fire 3D. That's the one. So drag that out, and you can have it activate. You know, you can have a rocket when it explodes. It does a volumetric fire explosion. And my frame rate is still not good. This is really kind of funny. Who is eating my GPU power? Huh. Windows is strange. Huh. Okay. I guess I'm just gonna deal with a low frame rate over here. Huh. Weird. Okay, so what we're gonna do today is we're gonna build a little launch pad kind of thing. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna build a little. We're gonna build like a jumpy system where you can jump from platform to platform. Okay. And so maybe I'll build like a little, I don't know, over here near this goofy, ugly ship that I still want to delete. Maybe over here somewhere. We'll build a series of jump pads, and you can like kind of jump from place to place. Maybe over here, make a little parkour course or something, or maybe you have to get up to the top of over here. What do you guys think? What would you like to see? Do you like a Sonic or Mario style jump pads? What do you feel like? You do like a parkour course, or you like jump, not like parkour, like mantling, but like a jumping kind of thing, jumping course. So I'll pull out a cylinder, and the cylinder here, I'm going to turn this into a techno pad thing. Bigger, a little bit thinner. Scale 0.5. And we'll make it 2 meters by 2 meters and snap it to the ground. And that looks like a teleport pad to me. We'll change this to like high tech, like maybe the hex tile pulse. That looks like a great teleporter material right there. And then I'm going to convert this into a blueprint, and this is going to be called Jump Pad. I already have one because I was messing around with it earlier. So let's see if we can override it. Okay. And then we are going to add to the pad here, we're going to add a little collision. So we could do a sphere collision, a box collision. Sphere collision makes sense. And this is going to have to get scaled up a little bit. Crash. Oh, there we go. Wow, that's really tiny. Okay. All right. 20, 20, 20. 30. A little bit too big. 25, 25, 25. Looks about right. Maybe pull it in a little bit so you can like kind of touch the like kind of touch the pad without like getting teleported immediately. That looks about right to me. Okay. All right, so we'll save that. Go to the event graph and get rid of begin play and tick. I don't think we need those right now. We're going to do an event actor begin overlap, and so we're going to do our standard cast to third person character because we only want this to trigger on the player. We don't want it to trigger on our bullets and the zombies and things like that. Although that would be kind of fun. Maybe we can add that in the future. So first thing we do, of course, is we just print string and just make sure that that worked. So come back here and let's move this jump pad to someplace a little bit closer to our spawn location so that we don't have to run all over the place. Holding down shift does that, by the way. Let's see here. And we'll hit N to snap to the ground, and let's try running this. There's the jump pad, and it says hello, and we walk over and it says hello. Cool, it is working just fine. So, switch the order of the tabs here. So, we are currently able to walk over it. Now what we're going to do is we are going to use a node called launch. So one of the things that I always have to tell students is that moving the player is actually a lot harder than moving regular objects out in the world. Regular objects in the world, especially physics objects, you set a velocity on them and they go. But the player has something called a move component and a controller, and those things are sort of overriding the standard physics and movement of the game. So let's try moving it up using launch character with a strength of 1,000, and let's see if that does anything. Boop. There we go. So sprint. Boop. All right. Kind of cool. Boop. What do you guys think? Looks good, or do you want it bigger? I think this should be split. And I don't know if we want it split. We might do something different, but this is just our basic launch. And sure, let's make this a variable, and we'll make this a instance editable variable. Hit compile and save. And the default value is 1,000. We'll make it a little bit stronger. Let's make it like 5,000. Save, compile, save, run. And now when we walk over it, boop. It's probably a little bit too strong. A little bit too strong. Let's set the default maybe to 2,000. That's a good one. That feels pretty good to me. I can go this way. Boop. Okay, so that looks pretty good. And then if we want to adjust the height of individual ones, for example, we could clone it. Because we made it instance editable, each instance of the teleport pad can have its own height. So for example, this one might be 1100. This one might be 1800. Save, play. And so one of them gives you a big boost, and one of them gives you a small boost. I always used to ask my daughter, I was like, do you want big boost or small boost? She's like, big boost. Big boost, Daddy. She's too old now for big boost. Maybe everything's a big boost now. I don't know. So you can see how the jump height is now a little bit different. Okay, so that's all it really takes in order to make a launch pad. So probably the next step in this would be to, instead of just having it be like a vertical boost like that, have it have a ability to go towards a point. So it'd be kind of fun is if you could set like a launch pad and then have instance editable be a point that you could put in space and have it like boost the player towards that point. That would be pretty useful for, like map editing people and stuff like that. So that's why I wasn't going to make this a variable, but we will undo this, delete, and we will recombine these pins here. And we will turn, no, we're not going to turn you into a variable. What we're going to do is we are going to add to the static mesh component. We're going to add a component here, and we're going to call it a scene component. And this is going to be like our jump target that it's going to boost us towards. Compile. And bruh. And so, let's see here, viewport, and we got our jump target here. And so this thing here, let's see here. Let's see here. What we really want is what we really want is really just a variable holding that, and then we can have different jump points set around the world. I'm gonna take you out, and we're gonna make a variable called jump target, and this is going to be an actor reference. Actor. Just an actor, thank you. Oh, it was so hard to find. Okay, we're going to make that instance editable. And compile. What we're going to do is we are going to make a point out in the world. And this will be our direction we're going to jump to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the target, the jump pad, and then I'm going to go to the jump target here, and I am going to use the dropper tool, and I'm going to click on that. And so this target point here, which I should probably rename. I'm going to call this like jump pad target 1, and I can have multiple. See if you have each one have its own target, then you can't like share them. And so what we can do now is have this guy also boost towards here. And so, and they'll boost in different directions, right? Based on their relative location to the target. And then we can create another one over here. And maybe this one, we can maybe put up on that platform up there. Space is flying through space. And over here, drop down. This cube out of the way. Okay, and so this guy will also have jump pad target set as its destination. Okay. So all three of these jump pads will, when you walk over them, we want them to boost them up towards this hay bale over here. Okay. And the hay bale really should have physics on, I think. That seems just correct to me. And we'll just do that. Okay. So we'll of these different jump pads target the hay bale for destruction. Now, right now we're not doing anything, right? Like right now we're launching the character with 0, which is not going to do anything. So what we have to do is grab our jump target, pull them out here, get our jump target, and we are going to get their world location. Okay, we're going to get their location, and we're going to get our location. For the static mesh component, sure, why not? Line them up. Okay. Align right. Align right. There we go. That looks better. Okay, so we've got the location of the place we want to jump to. We've got our location. We subtract them to get a displacement vector. There's also like some shortcut for doing that, which is like, oops. So this is our target. So it's like get direction, get unit direction. And so this will return a unit vector pointing in the direction of the target. And then you can multiply that by the distance between them as well. Or we could just do our standard thing, which works pretty darn well as well, and just subtract them to get a displacement vector. And this will give you a vector from the jump pad towards the jump target. And that gives you two things. It gives you direction, and it gives you magnitude. In this case, it's actually, we actually want both, because we want, the further away the person is, the stronger we want to jump. So this is actually perfect. We actually don't need to split it and then recombine it. We just need to make it bigger because these units are really big on these things. So if they're like, I don't know, how far away is this? Like in centimeters? They're at like, maybe it might even work unscaled. Let's just try this. Let's just see how that works, because these are in centimeters, so they're in pretty big units as it is. Let's just see how that works. Look at that. Boosted us a little bit. And then this one boosts us towards it a little bit. And, Nope. Missed it. Get wrecked. Get wrecked. Oh, dang it. It's killing me. No. I died. This game is too hard. Right. There we go. So you saw it kicked us. Each one of the jump pads, because they share the same jump target, they kick us in that direction. Now, the problem with this is that you saw it just like kicked us sideways, right? And so we actually want to like arc through the world. So we probably want to add a little bit of like up vector to it. These guys invincible. There we go. Jeez. So we probably want to like arch it a little bit, you know, so you get a little hang time on it. Right now they're just kind of kicking us right towards the target. So add a little bit of Z to it, I guess. We might want to scale it up a little bit. Okay, well, we'll take this. Let's just see how it works. So we're going to add another vector to it, and we're going to add, say, 500 units of Z. Z is up. Right. So let's see how that goes. Like whenever you do game development, just kind of iterate. Oh, look at that! Gave us a kind of a fun little kick. Boop. Oh, it's also part of the problem here is that it's like adding to our velocity. So if you're running, the thing like kicks you like in the direction, like in addition to your movement vector, right? So if you're really slow, then it's like that. But if you're running fast, then it actually doesn't really overwhelm your movement very much. So do we like that? What do you guys think? Do you guys like it adding to your current velocity? I can see an argument being made both ways. Let me show you what it would look like without it. Let's see. Stop. Let's try this here. Yeah, let's see if you guys like this one better. You guys are gonna need to vote. You guys are being really quiet on Discord right now, so you need to vote on this. So now it doesn't matter what your velocity is. You see, it always kicks you towards the target, right? So it's not adding your current velocity to it. Yeah, a lot of video games don't do additive physics. I think I kind of like this better. I don't know. What do you guys think, Samantha? You like the, because I can see an argument being made both ways. Because like players, I think would appreciate being able to do cool tricks where you can like come at a jump pad at a weird angle and kick off sideways and stuff like that. But it doesn't really feel like a launch pad to me. When you can like run backwards over it, you know, and it just kicks you upwards. I don't know. I think we need to make this a little bit stronger. I think it's a little bit on the weak side. So I'm going to multiply this by, not you, I'm going to multiply it by a flute. So we'll make a new variable called jump strength. And make you a flute. And that will be an instance editable variable. 1.5, and we're just going to multiply jump strength times vector. Come on. Why is there no vector times float? Seriously. Something that changed. Multiply. Convert pen to. This is frustrating. We got a vector, right? Multiply, please. Multiply by pi. No. Why am I not getting vector scale? All right, let's try. Convert pen to a float. I don't know why it was not doing that automatically. All right, we'll feed that in there. All right, line them up, and there we go. So we're going to scale the distance to the target by 1.5 to make the kick effect a little bit stronger. Could you add a spring animation? Yeah, let's do this. So let's see if this works out first, right? So I'm going to come over here and boop, there we go. And over here, boop, there we go. And boop. So it's, do you see how that works? Boop. It's actually quite nice. It's actually kicking us right over that point, right? Like our target point is right there, and each one of those jump pads is now successfully launching us through that point. And so we can do that for, like, if you want a Sonic experience, we could make one of you. We can add it to our little platform here. And let's see. It's lined up pretty well. And then we're going to make a new target point. Through maybe the middle of that one. And so basically you don't have to like make separate jump pads for everything, right? But if the strength isn't right, then you can tweak it. Nope. Forgot to set the target point. That one kicked us out, the old one. Right, so this guy, your jump pad target, is going to be this one instead. And so you are going to be called jump pad target 2. Sure, why not? Okay, so we run this. The rings are only visible if we fly. Okay, let's just see if it works. Boom. There we go. So I think the key is we're gonna have to hit that we're gonna have to hit that jump pad and then fly, right? And then see if we can make it through the rings. Okay, here we go. Are the rings there? No. Where are the rings? Maybe I got them all. All right. So there. So that is how you can make a cool little jump pad, you know. And if the velocity on that wasn't right, then you can come down here and just instance edit the U. We can instance edit the jump strength, so we can, you know, like that feels a little strong to me. So I'm going to kick it down to 1.2 up here. And haha, got all three of them. Nice. So even with 1.2, it's still, you know, it's still plenty strong, right? So got plenty of gas there. So very cool. All right, so that's a fun little thing. Maybe we can just leave the rings visible all the time. Edit blueprint, set visibility. Yeah, we'll just default it to have them on. So now the rings are on 24/7 until we fly and unfly. That'll. Now we can do a little strategy. Yes. Check me out. And I'm about to die. No. I died. Okay. Add a sound effect to it. Okay. So we do a sound effect. Sure. And what was the other thing? Oh, you wanted like a spring effect? Okay. All right, somebody find me a free uncopyrighted sound that I can use and then post it on Discord, and I will do the spring effect. Okay, we can multitask. It's cooperative coding and stuff. Okay, so I'm fine with those things defaulting to on. If you fly and then you don't fly, it'll turn off. But you know, whatever. So by default, though, yes. Okay. By default, though, they'll default to on, and that will make for a fun little thing there. It is actually very satisfying, like lining up those shots right and then flying through them. So like the hedgehog, I cannot use copyrighted sounds in this. You have to find me non-copyrighted sounds. So there are plenty of websites for that. Free sounds, for example. And so just go onto this website here and find me some nice public domain sounds that I can use for like a sproing effect, and then I will make this into a spring. So what are you thinking? Like the thing, what do you think? What are you thinking here? Like the thing kind of like compresses a little bit because it looks like a spring kind of, right? Like the glowing hex effect on it actually looks like it's already a wound spring. So maybe do you want it to like compress down and then like up or something like that? Something along those lines. Like you walk over it, it compresses down, pause, brief pause, and then something like that. What do you guys think? Samantha, Victor, Dustin, what do you think? And you need to be in the build directory. There's already one in there. Great. That was one I was messing with earlier. Delete, force delete. I'm sure nothing bad will happen. Okay. And then you will go into there. You exact same place as the old thing. I'm sure this will never cause any problems, ever. Alright, so... what else do I have in here? Linear stair brush. Okay, so... jump pad. So we need to do a timeline of some sort. So when they walk over us. Okay. So when they walk over us, yeah, we can stop their movement and then play a very short animation and then fling them. Okay. So we are going to fling them. I want to show you guys something else also real fast, which is cleaning up your blueprints, which is something I've not been great at this semester. So you can right click on this thing and collapse it to a function. And then you can just kind of like move these things around, you know, without having to like, you know, like have this giant spaghetti mess. In fact, I'm actually going to take all of you and you and make you into a function. And that function is going to be called Big Boost. Big Boost. That's an 8. It always asks for a big boost. And if you double click on the function here, there's all the code. It's still there. So you don't lose anything. Adding too many functions, though, can add too many layers of indirection. So it's one of those things where you have to like kind of be a little bit you know, careful to keep everything cleaned up. But now you can see every time we call Big Boost, it will take a object of the person that's getting boosted that automatically creates the parameter for it. And okay, self2. Okay, it automatically creates the parameters. If you need to create a parameter to a function, you can click on this and add a parameter. But it's got everything it needs. It's basically, you can just fold it like that and it'll just work. You don't really have to worry about it too much. Okay, so what we wanted to do was we're going to stop movement, then we want to do a timeline, then we're going to do Big Boost. Okay. I don't think this is copyrighted. It's on YouTube. You need to give me a WAV file. Post a WAV file. So we're going to come here. We're going to do a timeline. I'm going to add a timeline. And what we're going to do is line all those things up. Nope. Line them all up. There we go. And this timeline is going to be called Spring. And it's going to go down a little bit, pull up a little bit. And then when it finishes, we're going to do a big boost. We're not going to do a big boost right off the bat. So after it finishes, then we're going to launch the player. We're going to do a really short animation and then fling the person. The person's movement's going to stop. We're going to then do a little animation on the spring and then boost the player. So double click on the timeline. Add a new track, float track, and the float track is going to go from 1, I guess. It's like key from time 0 with a value of 1. So it's going to start off at fully scaled. The fully scaled, the regular scale is that, right? And then it's going to go down to like 0.1 maybe. So at time 0.25 of a second, it'll drop down to 1/10 of its normal size, and then it's going to go up, and the length of this timeline is going to be pretty short. It's going to be all over in a second, and then it will go up to like double in size in another point seconds. So like 0.3, it's going to double in size, and then it's going to go back to regular. Here at time 1, we'll have a value of 1, and doesn't need to loop and stuff like that. So, all right, save. This track is going to be called Spring Height, and that's going to be the vertical scale on us. Sonic Knuckles Spring sound wave. Okay, and is this copyrighted? It's called Sonic 3 Knuckles Spring sound effect. I don't think so. What do you mean you don't think so? Did you get it off freesound.com? Did you see the license on it? No? Just got off YouTube. YouTube is not free. It's it's not copyright free just because it's on YouTube. Trust me. Go on to free sounds and get like a spring sound. Okay. I'm not going to use any sound effects from Sonic and Knuckles. Okay, so where were we? Wrong place. There we go. Jump pad. All right. So go back to the event graph here. And every time it updates, we are going to grab the spring height. We're just going to scale ourselves based on the thing. Actually, I probably want the timeline to be even faster than that, honestly, because we don't want them sitting there for a whole second. So let's set the timeline down to like 0.3 seconds long. No, 0.4 seconds long. And we'll say U 0.4, and that's still probably a little bit too slow for my taste, but we'll see how it goes. Okay, so every time it updates, we are going to set our scale. Mass scale, actor scale. Set world scale. 3D, here we go. So the static mesh component is, of course, U. Yep. And then line up, please. Seriously. Very slightly downwards. So frustrating when these things don't snap to grid properly. There we go. There you go. And then we are going to set the scale. We're going to split this struct pin here. We're going to set the height to U and see how that goes. So, and then actually I'm going to turn off big boost because I just want to observe the animation, right? It's going to be hard to see if it works if we're being flung through the air. So let's walk over this. Ah, vanished. It's not good. Update. New scale Z. It's set to 0 right now. Spring height should not be 0 ever. None of these values should be 0. Should be 1. Time equals -2. Should be 1, and it dips down to 0.1. Should never be 0. 1. What's going on there? Alright, so world scale. Height scale and world space. Okay. Relative scale, actor scale. Click, split, and watch this value. I'm gonna play here, and then we're gonna watch that value. Okay, it's getting the right numbers. So I set it to loop. So we're getting numbers from 0 to 1, but it's just vanishing. Oh, it's because the X and Y scales they're being set to 0. That's why. Okay. The C part was working fine. All right. Yeah. I don't edit these mistakes out because I actually think it's valuable for people to see that people make mistakes and to like see the process of like trying to figure out where the mistakes are. Mistake is I'm setting those to 0. All right, so we will get our scale 3. Relative scale, absolute scale. World scale here. will split that open, and we will keep X the same, we will keep Y the same, and Z is going to be fed in from here. And after we finish, we probably should reset the scale to whatever we have in here too, because it's quite possibly not going to work right. Okay, so we'll I'll just leave that over here for a second. Watching variables is also kind of a fun thing to do. And come over here, and boom. Oddly enough, it's actually working as a booster just from the fact that it is in fact changing scale and boosting us as a result of this kind of thing. So that's a neat little thing. So, and we have it set to loop, so it's just going to do this forever. And so I think the max scale is probably a little bit too big. In fact, I want to take this and multiply it by this, because it's already scaled down a little bit. So I'm going to stop watching value, because I think this should be good. I'm highly confident this is going to work now. Compile, save. Just snap it over here. Play. Ooh. Ooh. That's interesting. Interesting. Z. Shouldn't have been so confident, huh? All right, let's just put it back. All right. Oh, because it's getting the scale and then it's scaling it down every time. Ah, yeah. Yeah, I can't do that. We need to get the original scale on this thing. Okay, so on begin play, like I said, I leave the mistakes into these videos because it's actually part of the development process, is like figuring out what you did wrong, you know. And you can't do that if you all these videos where like people are developing and they like cut away when they make mistakes and things like that. I'll only pause the video like if I need to look up the name of a block, because I don't have them all memorized. There's a lot. There is a lot. These are all the categories. You know? There's an absolute maddening number of functions and stuff like that here. So what we're going to do when we begin is we are going to get our world scale. Stack mesh component. Get world scale. And we are going to promote you to a variable. And we're going to call you original scale. And what we're going to do is not that anymore. We're going to get the original scale. And that is going to be split. And the original scale is X. The original scale is Y. And the Z off that will get multiplied by the Z coming off the spring height. And that, because what was happening? Did you guys follow what was happening there? We were setting the scale to be very small, and then we were getting the scale and multiplying it by a very small number again, and that's why you saw that cool like black hole effect where it went to 0 basically. Kind of cool, buggy, but kind of a cool thing. You might want to try that sometime, just asymptotically approaching 0 in height and seeing that cool little animation on it as it turns into a puddle of blackness. And I'm turning off looping as well. Okay. I feel confident now. All right, here we go. Okay. All right. So that was the animation. That's it. Won't play again. Alright, stop, reverse. Okay. Play from start. Okay. So it'll so what happens is that we played it, it got to the end of the timeline and it stopped. And so when you hit play again, it's still there at the end of the timeline. It doesn't play a second time. Play from start will reset it to play from the beginning of the animation every time. And it's triggering over and over again. That's probably not intended behavior. Is it triggering the overlap multiple times. It's probably moving this collision out of the way. It's triggering until we finish. Okay. So we're gonna do a do once node here. This is a fun little thing, and it will prevent this from happening, I think. There you go. So one time and one time only, it will activate. Okay. So what we want though is after we finish this whole thing, we want to do big boost, and then big boost is going to do a reset over here. And then it will allow us to do it again. Cool. Nice. Now if we do it again, there we go. And then this one, damn it, I died. Stupid sentry guns. You're gonna die, sentry gun. I probably should be hiding that laser. There you go. All right, let's try this one. So you see there's that small pause. That's why I said the timeline should actually be probably a little bit faster than that. It's noticeable. Like it actually interrupts your gameplay when it does that timeline. So, but because you slam to a halt when you touch the thing, right? Because it stops all movement. So when you hit the thing, it slides to a halt, and you see the thing go boop, and then it flings you through the world. And it's kind of cool, you know, but I probably want it to be a little bit faster. So I'm going to set it down to 0.2 seconds and just edit all of these things to be even faster than before. 0.1, 0.15, and you are going to be 0.2. It's something you really need to pay attention to, especially when you take control away from a player. People don't like it very much, right? Like crowd control effects, like in World of Warcraft, you can cheat people. In the original World of Warcraft, you could cheat people for a minute, and then after it popped off, you could cheat them again. And then after that popped off, you could cheat them again. You could cheat them for 3 straight minutes until they became immune to your crowd control for like 15 seconds. And then they would just cheat you again, over and over again. So this is looking pretty good. So like when you touch the little jump panel, it takes away control of your character, right? Like it literally stops the motion of your character, boop, dead in the water. So having like a fifth of a second loss of control is acceptable, but even like at 0.4 seconds, that felt bad to me. And so that's something you really need to be cautious about. You need to really worry about the loss of control whenever you do something like that. So here we go. Didn't make it that time. Damn it. No. So that's our class for today. I hope you guys had fun. Your homework is going to be building a jump panel obstacle course where you have to navigate through like a platform to a platform to a platform to a platform. So make like a Mario jump panel, Sonic / Mario. Let me get my face out of the way here so I can screenshot this for you guys. So you guys understand? So you're gonna basically make some sort of like, you know, platformer. Basically, you're gonna make a jump panel platformer. Toss this up. Jump pad parkour. Yep. And that should be fun. It's not hard. Here's all the code for it. You guys got the skills, you got the knowledge, you got the talent. You can add this sound. I don't trust I don't trust that sound to not be copyrighted, so I didn't add a sound. But you can add a sound if you want, as long as you don't distribute it. You won't get in trouble. And so that's it. So basically, you can put these jump pads all throughout your level. You can set the targets for them so that you can have the same target, like this one, shared by like 3 different ones. And it's really nice. You just have a platform and a target over it, and it'll launch you. You can play with the jump strengths and things like that to get it all working right. Probably you don't want the platforms to be too small because you can see the player actually slides when he hits. So, or she hits. I think we're playing as the female mannequin here. So watch when you hit. Like, no, not on that one. Let's see. Boop. See how there's like a slide on it. So go away, zombie. So you want to be cautious of that if you're making a platformer. If you're making a platformer and the get it. Ah, yeah. See how far and I died. Be cautious of that. Like if you make the person move too fast, they're gonna slide out and they're gonna fall off the platform and be very frustrated. So just be cautious of that. Also, it's November, so make sure you go onto the marketplace and add some free assets. So free for the month. It is now November 1st. Universal camera, big update, whatever that is. Clothing stores, animated rain. Oh, nice. Physical interaction system and an office. Cool stuff. All right. I'll see you guys on Thursday. Peace out.